Welcome to another episode of the Burg Podcast, where we talk about all things Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Also known as the Hub City or just the Burg, Hattiesburg is a bustling town in southern Mississippi. It's an educational, cultural, business, and medical hub for the region, and we're pleased to share stories from our community.
On today's episode of the Burg Podcast, you will hear from 3 individuals and learn about the passions in their life. Anna Philpott starts off the episode with an interview with a beloved local musician.
I'm Anna Philpott with the Burg Podcast. Today, I'm interviewing Schaefer Yana. My guest is an independent Mississippi artist. Okay, so if you could you tell us a little bit about yourself and give us kind of a description of the music that you make?
Sure, yeah. I'm Schaefer Yana. I was born in Missouri, raised in Mississippi. I like to say that I make Mississippi music, and I think that covers a really broad spectrum of what I do, because I, as a songwriter, can write in a bunch of different styles, and as a producer and sound engineer, I like to explore different sounds to go with those songs as well, so it can really spread from like classic country to more like indie pop, rock, alternative, just whatever I'm feeling.
Homework. Yeah. I read on your website that you started writing songs while playing the piano at like 14. Is that correct, or were you younger?
I actually wrote my first song when I was in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
It was called Open Your Eyes. It's a bop.
Okay.
Maybe one day I'll just record it for fun.
I think you should.
I had a whole like dance routine and everything on the Foursquare court.
That's so sweet.
It was a whole thing. But I didn't start playing piano until like middle school. And I was writing then too. And that's like probably when I got more serious about songwriting, but was definitely always writing songs.
Very cool. So where have you found your inspiration for writing songs over the years?
I mean, a lot of it just comes from the way that I'm feeling and not understanding what those feelings are. And sometimes I think of my songs as like journal entries, and so many people say that inspiration can come from like outward things, but I think a lot of mine just comes from the inward stuff and like trying to figure it out and trying to make sense of what I'm going through.
For sure. Was there ever a defining moment for you where you learned that you were a good songwriter? Like ever a really defining moment where someone was like, Schaefer, this is good, you should put this out into the world?
Probably in middle school when I started like seriously writing songs. I was sending them to my friend Vera all the time, and she was kind of like interpreting them back to me, and I was like realizing these big meanings that were existing in my songs, and I hadn't realized it. And so that like gave me the confidence to like really pursue it, I think. I mean, I've always wanted to do music and sing and write songs, and to have someone tell me like, this is great, like this is what I got out of it, and me being like, I feel that, I just didn't know. And then going to college and doing a program specifically for music, and having more friends that are writing songs and being able to like share back and forth with those people definitely gave me the confidence to go for it and put them out. And those same friends are the ones that made the record with me.
Yeah. Well, very cool. You're also you're in this growing period. I saw that you have over 1 million streams on your song Do on Spotify, which, have you thrown yourself a party yet, or what?
The thing with that is it's so random. That song has so many streams because it's on like some coffee shop playlists in Thailand.
Whoa!
Of all places. Like, maybe I just need to move to Thailand.
Yeah.
But, no, I have not thrown myself a party. Not until...
I think you should get yourself a little cake or something.
Okay. Maybe like a berry bird cupcake.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. This growth that you're experiencing, are you finding that it's adding any pressure to you, or is it just all euphoric and like things are coming into place that you've always dreamt of?
I'm definitely feeling the pressure. I cannot lie. It's exciting, though. I just started in my room, and, like, now I have somehow fallen into a career of playing music, even though it's not always my music. It's, like, my music is what has gotten me to this place of being to play with other people and sing for other people and record with other people. And, I don't take that for granted. I'm excited to see where it goes, because I still am so in the middle of it all, and like I've got some big plans that I hope work out, and I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself right now.
Yeah, just taking it one little bit at a time. So you're making your second album, and you have released 3 singles since joining your record label. And do you think, like, you're moving into a new sound as compared to your first album?
It's definitely a new era.
Okay.
I'd say that it's not like full 180 from anything. It's very much like if I could take 49 ceiling tiles and blend it with the newer stuff, it's like that happy medium with a lot of more experimental ideas, I'd say. Like we've only gotten 4 songs done at this point, and we're about to go in hopefully over the summer and do the rest of them, and I've gotten to be the like lead producer on these, which is the first time I've ever gotten to do that, and so I'm really excited about the way they've turned out, because it's like I can hear them physically in the real world now the way that I've been hearing them in my head for like, you know, however long these songs have existed, some of them like 6 years, and so that's really exciting to like get to see that come to life.
Also, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit. You were talking about being the lead producer on this project, and that made me think about your music video for The Start of Spring that was also nominated for an award. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to know if you like had any what was the creative process behind that video?
Actually, it kind of started when I was writing the song. I like was imagining these certain scapes and movements, and when I had the opportunity to work with Studio 143, I was like, we're gonna do this right, it's gonna be so beautiful. And I wasn't really thinking of a story or like a narrative sort of video. It was more just supposed to be like a vibe, something that was like almost like a background thing while the song is playing. And so a lot of it just came of me talking with them about what I was seeing and finding inspiration on like Pinterest. I think I made a Pinterest board.
I found a lot of the pieces that were current, like the blood orange color. Okay, can you tell us the story behind the blood orange?
I mean, well, so it does come off as blood orange, but it's actually red. I just wanted the contrast between red and green to signify like the contrast between like winter and spring. Even though red ended up being the spring color and green was like the winter. It was like black and green really was like the winter feel. But it was just that. It was just like supposed to like signify blooming and changing and whatnot. And like I think in the beginning I'm wearing like a black and orange dress actually with the red face. And then there's the dancer that is the red, and it's just like maybe the black dress with the orange and the red is like, it's like creeping in and starting to like take over. I don't know. I wanted that one to be really left up to interpretation. Like I still don't know if I entirely understand why that was the way that I wanted it to be.
Okay, so let's get into the Mississippi music scene, because you are a Mississippi artist through and through, and you grew up in Batesville, went to school in the Delta, and then were based in, like, did a lot of music in Oxford, and now you're down in the South, which is just so much more different, obviously. Oh, you're nodding your head.
I just feel the North Mississippi and South Mississippi are, like, just totally 2 different places.
How so?
Oh, man. Like, when I lived in North Mississippi, whether that be Batesville, Cleveland, Oxford area, and I lived in Memphis for a while, too. That is such a place, you know? There's the Memphis music scene, there's the Delta blues. And then South Mississippi, none of that is as relevant here, because now we're close to New Orleans blues and supposedly the birthplace of rock and roll. Yeah, it's just different, you know? I'm so used to Memphis being an hour away, but now New Orleans is an hour away, Mobile is 2 hours away, whatever.
I feel like we're all together in so many things. Like, I feel very united with the people of Mississippi, but then the differences in cultures are significant. They really are. But when we were texting, we were kind of talking about the Hattiesburg music scene. How do you view the Mississippi music scene in terms of how you've grown as an artist and maybe the direction that you're heading? Like, do you think that this will always be home base? Or
That's a big question. I love Mississippi. I claim Mississippi when I'm out on the road and people ask me where I'm from, I just blanket say Mississippi. Even with all of the different music scenes that exist in Mississippi, I think there is a united force because of the state that we live in. And, like, that being said, Mississippi doesn't have great infrastructure for musicians or artists at all, really. It's not like a Nashville, obviously, or an LA. Could never be. I do think about exporting myself to another place just because I can't imagine not living a life in music, and as much as it like breaks my heart that I don't feel like I can do it fully in Mississippi, I would never remove that part of my identity either. It's so special and so magical, and like I think there's so much good talent here, and the world just like doesn't know about it because it's hard to create a stage for Mississippi artists with the way things are right now.
I totally hear you, but yeah, you just really have a talent, and I'm so grateful to have you on this show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Anna Philpott for the Burg Podcast.
Our second feature on the episode is Candy Lambert's personal essay on how cooking saved her life.
Life changes, and people do too. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second, something is changing. It's always been fascinating to me how fast things change, and even how something consistent can cause these changes and lead you to other constants in your life. One thing that has been consistent in my life is being an only child, something I always hoped, like everything else, would change, but it never did. So, let's talk about growing up, but not just any kind of growing up. Doing it solo, as an only child. It's kind of like being the main character in your own story every single day, which, if you can imagine, gets pretty boring. My parents, they were everything. Imagine getting all of the attention all the time. Sounds cool to most, right? But it's not all it's made out to be. All the attention means that they never miss a beat, which for most things is good. Nonetheless, I made the most of learning to enjoy my time alone. I didn't have brothers or sisters to hang out with, so I made friends with my imagination. Books, toys, TV shows, movies, games, you name it, they were my crew. And honestly, it wasn't too bad. It taught me to enjoy my own company and get creative. But none of these hobbies replaced the lasting relationship I was longing for. I knew I had my parents, but I was looking for something else. I didn't know if that was someone or something else. All I knew is that I was looking for something to fill that missing piece. With a lot of time alone, I preoccupied myself with these various hobbies. But like I said before, everything is always changing, and none of them ever resonated with me or gave me a relationship that I was longing for. That was until one of them finally gained my attention for longer than a week or two. When I got home from school, I remember always wanting to watch TV, but getting bored quickly. However, after a long day of learning in first grade, I sat down and clicked through the channels and landed on the Food Network. I watched for what felt like hours, and I remember thinking how cool it was that people had relationships with food and found fulfillment in their kitchens. I watched all of the major shows and started asking for cookbooks for birthdays, Christmas, and I found myself obsessed with this little hobby that I called cooking. Flash forward to a rainy day in February 2010. I'm in third grade now, and I cooked and baked a lot. I always made new recipes with the help of my parents, and truthfully, cooking became a constant for me. Something to keep me grounded, along with my other activities. It truly was a source of joy for not just me, but for the three of us. But remember that thing I said about change? Yeah, it never stops. Everything is constantly changing. On this particular day, something changed for me, drastically. My mom and I were supposed to bake Valentine's cupcakes for my class that evening, but instead my mom and dad sat me down to tell me that they were getting a divorce. It seemed my whole world stopped then and there. When you're an only child, there is no one other than your parents. But what happens when your parents aren't one anymore? What happens when you have one less person around to mask the loneliness you feel as is? In the moment, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't think. All I could do was imagine the loneliest feeling lonelier. Once I got myself together, I realized how sad my mom and dad both were. The house that was once full of joy and warmth quickly shifted to quiet and cold. I thought to myself, how can I help? Oh, how I wish I had someone to confide in this moment. That's when it hit me. I would lean on the only thing I knew, the only constant. I would cook something to recreate that warmth that once ran free in our home. Though it didn't work right away, I was able to replenish some of the joy we lost with this passion of mine. I was able to mend some of what was broken in my parents and in myself. And though I was technically alone, I always relied on the kitchen, a new cookbook, or a baked good to fill the space. And it worked. And it still works nearly 15 years later. So yes, everything always changes. And for so long, I wish that my situation would change. I wish so many times that I didn't have to be alone. But I was never truly alone. Without this search and longing for something fulfilling, a lasting relationship, I may have never stumbled into a hobby that is now such an important part of my life. So did growing up alone seem hard at the time? Yes. Does the inevitable change of life suck sometimes? Yes. But it taught me that even in the midst of change, we can find constants that ground us and give us purpose and meaning, no matter how often or relentlessly change happens.
I'm Kennedy Lambert, reporting for the Burg podcast.
Joshua Matacek is a 21-year-old dirt track racer who has been doing this since he was just 4 years old. Anna Pierce has the story.
Joshua Matacek is a dirt track racer from Purvis, Mississippi. He says he began racing anything with four wheels since he was a little kid, and this was what spiked his interest into racing itself.
I started racing go-karts when I was 4 years old throughout my young elementary years.
Matacek mentions that after go-karts, he developed an interest in motocross, but after various injuries, he called it quits and went into dirt track racing.
When I was probably about 8, we took a break from go-karts, and I got into motocross. Had enough of falling and hurting myself. And then when I was 12, we started racing dirt track racing full-time.
Matacek says he races what's called dirt late models, aka dirt track racing. He tells me he races on Fridays and Saturdays with about 15 to 24 cars. The race laps typically being 20 to 50 laps depending on pay. Matacek has had a wide variety of cars. Racing is very important to him in his life.
Racing being in your blood, we kind of fell back to it, and here recently, last summer, we got into crate late models, and we have been in a late model since middle of last summer. We're racing a series throughout the state of Mississippi currently.
I'm Anna Pierce for the Burg podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Burg podcast. This podcast is totally produced by students in Dr. Dave Davies' MCJ 344 podcasting class in the School of Media and Communication at the University of Southern Mississippi. Producers for this episode are Madison Calkins, Sydney Stokes, Michaelan Williams, and Denari Washington. Music from Upbeat. See the link in our About page for more information. Cover artwork by Madison Calkins and Greta Graves.